What happens next in the story of Brooke and James No Teeth Keith? Will their relationship survive after all that baby mama business? And is this just the beginning for Brooke's penchant for inmates? To answer this and many more questions, allow me to take us back to the beginning. Hello and welcome to Lawd Lukan. It's time to buckle a few more swashes with the best of Brooke and James No Teeth Keith story, part 2. Spank the screen here for part 1 if you missed it. On today's show, JK's not fussy.
I have to take what I can get.
Brooke is going to be looking stupid.
I'm gonna be looking stupid.
Brooke is talking smack.
Where I'm from, talk get hit.
Is that a baby bump we can see? James Keith is having troubles getting started.
How?
Can you spot this week's parole violations? And Brooke spills her beans to Bonnie.
Damn, bro.
All this and more right here on the Lawd Lukan channel.
You do for real. You.
Good day, bienvenue and konnichiwa to you. Big loves to those who've subscribed, you beautiful people. And keys to the guest suite, to the lords and ladies of the Lukan Manor. Some say, mon petit point, that there is such a place called means, and that ideally you should live in it. Others say that it's much better to live in fuck it I'll do it anyway, where you can do anything you want and live in complete denial of all your responsibilities. Two of the plucky inhabitants of fuck it I'll do it anyway are Brooke and JK, who are just some of the cast members here to wow you with their personal problems this week. Great. So, for this saga, we'll need to pop over to the delightful Marlin, Texas. Yes, indeed, Marlin, Texas, the place that's so amazing it's famous for being an intersection of Highway 5 and 6. Well, everybody's favourite highways. And also because someone laid some railway tracks there once. Good job. Other people that are trying to lay their own railway track in Marlin is JK, James Jimbo, over at his mum's house.
It's Wednesday, babe. Do you know what Wednesday means?
Now, if you had any concept of what a Wednesday means, like, you know, that middle of the day that marks the halfway point to the weekend, to me, it's the day my mother does her grocery shopping, or the name of that TV show that my daughter likes. Well, whatever your mental image of Wednesday is, prepare to have it irreparably adjusted.
Pre-seed day. Miracle Grow.
Seed day, yes. If they can't get Brooke to conceive naturally, they're gonna force one out of her with a bit of turkey baster action. Dad, what in the 2016 is going on with that filter? Makes Jimbo look very glamorous. Couldn't give him any teeth though, I guess. Working in one of those donation clinics must be a decidedly dodgy place to work. You got guys like Jimbo rocking up to Lockup. Who needs that mental image? And what about people on their first day? If you're new to the job and still a bit clumsy, when you have a bad day, you're really having a bad day. Then Brooke says the quiet bit out loud.
We don't need
Twins. Triplets.
Nah, it's typical of these people from fuck it'll do it anyway. You'd hate to have a boy with his genes, yet you're willing to chuck a 50-50 at it. She does, of course, already have 2 boys. So what if she's one of those women who can't help but have boys all the time? Is it true that the more of one gender you have, the more likely it is that you're going to have more of the same? Well, there was a recent study of many donations by a lady called Siwen Wang. and I totally didn't make that up. Siwen Wang. You might as well do what your name suggests, I suppose. You know, like Mr. Butcher should do stuff with meat, or Miss Baker should do a bit of bread. Therefore, Professor Wang here does cock. Kind of. Good job. Anyway, Wang says that if you have 3 boys... Wang says that if you have 3 boys, for example, your choice of having another boy is 61%. However, if you have all girls, it's only 58%. So, for Brooke here, it's sausage o'clock. We join them on the waterbed on the floor of Jimbo's mum's lounge. How romantic. Is this an upgrade from the weird medical room? Jimbo and Brooke are trying to knock a coconut out of the tree, while Big John's trying to watch Jimmy Kimmel.
Pre-seed day.
Preceding is all about making sure the landing strip is clear, for when this cockpit tries to land his light aircraft in a hangar. It's a product that mimics cervical mucus. Gross. You may as well say vagina bogies. Now, I've been on a nightmarish rabbit hole, and so I'm going to leave that whole topic there. So, Jimbo's here, pumping the farts out of Brooke. I bet that's just for fun, really. Doesn't serve any practical purpose. A well-placed armed here, though, so, you know, good job, cameraman. We don't need to see Brooke shawarma terrifying neighbours. So he flips her around for a bit of, I don't know, whatever this horror show is. Then goes for the classic shake one out method.
Maybe he shakes. I'm just trying to get it in there.
But babies aren't the only thing that Brooke and Jimbo are dreaming about. They dream of their own little white picket fence and their own little Rick Moranis one day.
Buying a piece of land
and just building our own house on it, and of course get married. Now we're trying to have a baby.
She says that like she's sort of already gone and achieved all that stuff, and is now capping it off with a delightful addition to their legacy. No. They talked about buying some land and building a house, and then they actually tried to have a baby. Not that they actually tried to buy a house, better their lifestyle in some way. No, they fantasized about all that. Now let's cut to the baby having.
I'm just trying to get it in there.
And so what does a Brooke and Jimbo combo need for a night of loving? Well, they've got a tube of some unknown lubricant looking thing, a vape for that after moment when you can't be bothered to go outside, Vaseline and some nappies, diapers. So either these two are getting extra freaky or there's kids coming round to visit. Can you imagine the kids rock up? Hey, cool, Grandma's got her air mattress out. Let's go jump on it. No, stay away from the airbed.
You know, your mom probably heard us this morning, right?
I know.
So, what's happening with your other kids while you're out doing that? Is Rosie O'Donnell still looking after them? Or are we not bothered about that? Sorry, kids, Mum's gone to guard her investment because he can't be trusted to be left alone for 5 minutes. And then she's going to have a baby, so that time that you had with your mum has just been halved. Congratulations. Jimbo, however, needs to get a job so he can get this tag thing off. Also, so that Brooke won't stay over every night.
I'm just staying here long enough for you to get that ankle monitor off.
This is only for like 2 or 3 more weeks.
So he's got himself a not at all suspicious potential job of his own lined up.
I'm finna meet up with John to go look at this truck for house shotting.
In case, like me, you have no idea what all that meant, I do believe he said he was going to do some hot shotting. Steady yourself, ladies. Which is basically being a freelance delivery person with your own van and your own taxes, and it's called hot shot as you had tight deadlines. To be one, you have to spend $300 on an LLC registration, pay a bunch of insurances, and pass a medical.
If I get 3 or 4 loads going to the oil fields, sleep in a hotel room or something that night.
And there's the worrying bit. The man who likes to hide his activities with at least one other woman wants to be off somewhere, staying God knows where, with God knows who.
I don't feel like I will be able to trust JK when I'm not with him.
And you're still considering having a baby with him? You can't trust him enough to let him go to work without basting someone else's turkey. But, having a baby, yeah, it'll be fine. Also, have you noticed how Brooke's boobs have had a disagreement mid-recording? They start off behaving themselves here, and then later on they've got a whole mind of their own. This one's checking her laces, this one's off to the races.
I gotta go get the boys, take them to school, and then I gotta go to work.
So, with Brooke out of the way, Big John bravely comes out of her room and sees what's been going on in her living room. And all this sharing and caring is becoming a little bit too much.
I just feel like my house is getting smaller and smaller.
No, I don't blame her, really. You're trying to get a bit of rest and all you can hear is Jimbo and his bimbo squeaking about on the airbed.
I ain't mean to be disrespectful or nothing about like you hearing us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's kind of getting much too.
But somewhat graciously, and I did say somewhat graciously, Jimbo apologises to his mum for traumatising her.
I gotta
Put a sock in it or something, okay?
put a sock in it.
Where are we going to be putting the sock? What, in Brook? If so, I'm not sure where, or whose sock we're going to use. One of Jimbo's? But before we leave to disinfect our senses, Jimbo unleashes this little nugget on us.
I want to be able to have that power couple going on. I want to be able to be making money and she making money and we coming together and we got plenty of money.
Well, I can see Brooke's power couples from here. I like his plan. It's basically get money, be power couple. Genius. So, move out of the way, Obamas, back in your box, Posh and Bex. Beyonce who? Because Jimbo and Brooke are taking over, just as soon as they shake this little baby out of her. And just before we leave them, Brooke's also got some nuggets to be dropping.
I have a secret, and JK doesn't know yet.
But it's not all bum jiggling and lubricant today. No. Brooke and JK, and I think Brooke has finally seen some sense.
Having a baby right now is probably not the best idea.
Good, well, that's sorted then. Thanks for watching, and no, that's not the end, unfortunately. Now the next sentence doesn't start with but, as you might expect, it goes,
I have $23 to my name.
Fantastic. So what about the wonderful JK? Is he earning? Well, currently he's donating plasma, which gets him $100 at a time for the first 4 weeks, and then maybe $80 after that. He can do it twice a week, at least 2 days apart. So he could be earning a whopping $640 a month.
Having a baby right now is probably not the best idea.
No, it really isn't. It never was. And you know what else was a pretty crap idea? Letting Jimbo's close friend and ally move in with you. Well, seeing as she's got a job, I can kind of see why it's handy for Brooke.
I just want a baby with JK because, like, I do want to be with him, and I know, like, him having his own kid is something that he's always wanted.
He's probably always wanted a dirt bike and an invitation to the Playboy Mansion, but do we need to give him those things to keep him? When does the cost outweigh the reward? So we're here at the restaurant with Bonnie, whose boss totally doesn't mind people rocking up out of the blue to talk to you, apparently. But, you know, this scene isn't totally staged at all.
You're not busy right now?
If you've got time to lean, you've got time to clean. So, what's Brooke here for? To ask her what's going on behind her back? Nope, she's here to try not to pay all of Bonnie's bills.
Like, I'm gonna need you to pay all of your half.
Turns out that Bonnie has been living at Brooke's place and hasn't even been paying her bills properly. So, Brooke brings in a woman she'd never met, a woman the untrustable man says is okay, which, you know, must mean a lot, and that pays the majority of bills, even though...
You know, I'm working 2 jobs, plus the cleaning job, like, I'm trying, you know.
So where's all your money then? If you're working 3 jobs, and where's all the cash gone? Well, I bet it's in the same place as her loyalty to Brooke, which, if you haven't already guessed, is located somewhere in the toilet area.
Are you gonna be more loyal to me than you are JK?
Ooh, well, now here's a ponderance. Forget about the money and stuff for a moment. Does the fact she's given Bonnie a place to live overrule her loyalty to JK? She's given her a roof over her head and paid her bills. Surely that should give you some loyalty in return? But does that support equate to giving up a loyalty to someone else? Well, what do you think? Well, Bonnie thinks it's time for some diplomacy.
If you tell me something or he tells me something, there's a level of confidentiality.
Which is a pretty reasonable thing to say. Perhaps if it sounded a bit more like, hey look, I'm yours friend and I don't want to get involved, so if you respect my position in all this, please keep your secrets to yourself, then it may have sounded a bit less robotic.
Like, real I got you.
But while they do that, let's check out some of our man behaviour at work. This episode is How Men Do Manning. Lesson 1, buying something with an engine.
You the guy I talked to on the phone?
Yeah,
JK.
CJ.
No, nice to meet you.
I bet the last guy wishes he had a J in his name too. I just heard sort of Nug or something.
No, nice to meet you.
See, in Man Universe, having this kind of nearly sound-alike kind of name is enough to get a bromance going. Thus, men are so easily sorted into teams. Show us a ball or someone who shares part or all of our name, and we're friends forever. See how pleasantly surprised he was to have such a similar name.
Yeah,
JK.
CJ.
But it's all just a show, as he's not actually got any money to buy it. So what the hell did we get this scene for? To find out that CJ has probably got a short girlfriend? Why do I think that? This here is the classic foundation track of a short woman wearing ivory powder. Back to Brooke, who has decided to drop a dirty little secret all over the floor.
I lost my job.
So we're to believe that her mum sacked her from the world's least busy thrift shop. Sure. The woman who bends over backwards to raise your kids has just sacked you for running off to bust Jimbo at the end of last season. Okay. I personally don't believe that for a second. If she did sack her, it's probably because her ass is constantly at Jimbo's house, babysitting a grown-ass man.
You cannot say like cannot for any reason say anything.
Yeah, of course she won't. You know, she's not really drafting a text under the table as we speak.
If he finds out that I do not have a job, he will leave me.
You can hear those cogs turning, can't you? Here's a thought. What if Brooke is playing 4D chess and this is all just a test? What if she hasn't been sacked and was just testing Bonnie to see if she'll tell JK? Well, you know, this is Brooke we're talking about, so maybe not. Anyway, Brooke got that off her escaping chest and now everything's fine, right?
I'm not gonna hide that from him.
But what's her game? So she gets Brooke out of the way, so what? Does she have no money because she's secretly been saving it for a deposit and is just waiting for the right time to leave Brooke's house and take her man? Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. We check out some of Brooke and JK. And today is the big day for Jimbo as he's meeting Jimbo Sr.
It's a big moment for me, you know.
Yeah, we don't really care. Should we skip this bit, shall we? It's so boring, blah, blah, blah. Here we are, Bonnie's job. The nest of the viper. So, do you think she'll handle the situation carefully? Will she respect Brooke's confidence? Or will she just go ahead and jump straight into how Brooke has came by when she should have been at work?
She's at work.
Apparently not.
Let's get the last bit of Brooke and JK, shall we? Brooke has turned up at JK's mom's house to drop the bad news on him. So now he has to drop that pile of joy on his parents. And imagine how pleased they were.
She took some pregnancy tests.
Oh, Jesus. Help me, Lord.
I know. But Brooke is confused. I mean, why isn't everybody cartwheeling across the floor and letting off those poppy things? Surely they should all be pleased about it, right?
I know I'm a damn good mother, so what's the problem?
Oh, you are you? Was that disappointed man an indication of how wonderful you are, is it? Those poor kids probably have separation anxiety, which of course leads to low self-esteem and a bunch of fun psychoses. So, yeah, good job you. I quite like the difference between how JK's mum handles it and his stepdad.
I told you, don't get her pregnant right away.
His mum does the gently approach, which, let's face it, is probably one of the reasons he's in this situation. And the stepdad...
You don't listen! I've told you numerous times, don't get the girl pregnant, can't afford it!
Yeah, that's how you do it. Blast his ass. But Big John tries to calm him down.
Calm down.
Oh, watch the old hands there.
Calm down.
But you gotta like JK's stepdad, even if it's just because he's giving JK the stern, what the fuck are you doing kind of response, rather than the old let me grab the cotton wool response. And it's fun to watch him work.
Maybe he'll get a friggin' brain cell. I ain't got time for this crap.
More that one.
Good job. Well, let's visit Brooke from the back end of nowhere. Well, Whitney, Texas to be precise. And it made me wonder if her parents had popped to the shops when they were trying to think of names. And her mum said, what should we call our little bundle of joy? And the dad said, I don't know, just name it after whatever you can see. So the choices were Walgreen or Brookshire. And the rest is history. I suppose it's a good thing they didn't live near Ding Dong. Or No Trees, which, does actually have trees. They could have also lived in Noodle, or Tarzan, that would be exciting. Or they could have gone for the procrastinator's favourite, Uncertain. But today you can call Brooke uncertain, as she's doing a bunch of pregnancy tests in her best plastic cups.
I have a few positive and a few negatives.
I'd say there was a shit ton of negatives regarding you two mass-producing disappointment, personally. But yeah, check those out. Is that more of a statement, though, about how reliable these things are? Or how her pregnancy is a firm maybe? Maybe his little swimmers had got to see their exes without telling her to. But it's not easy to have kids with a man who kicked you out of his mom's house.
A week ago, me and JK got in a big argument and he kicked me out of his mom's house.
Get the f*** out of my house.
Yes, indeed, he's snaky in the grass Bonnie. May have slightly let it slip about how Brooke got fired.
Somebody who's lying about where she's at and what she's doing.
I mean, who saw that coming? The fact he'd also been lying about his whereabouts and seeing his ex, well, that means nothing now, because in JK's mind, she's leveled the honesty playing field. She's matched him blow for blow, she's titted his tats. And there was quite a bit of tits and tats flying everywhere.
I haven't talked to JK since he found out that I lost my job.
I guess this is from the part of the interview where her boobs tried to escape. This one's hanging loose, this one's off for a juice. See, I could do that all day. This one's flopping, this one's gone shopping. Anyway, you think someone would have politely tackled that subject with her? In my experience, ladies who might have visited my little studio in the past appreciated a little guidance. One time, at band camp, I had a model who, the person who helped her out was called the lip technician, or the fanny wrangler. If the model posed in such a way that her hoo-ha resembled rabbits', I just got out, fanny wrangler, and a little lesbian lady would pop out and tuck those bad boys back in. Good job. Anyway.
It was just a white lie about not being at work. It's not like I was out running the streets or at my ex's house.
Yeah, JK. Her lie was like innocent, or something. But, doesn't she live with Bonnie? Isn't that going to make it a wee bit awkward? Is that why we're currently in Brooke's mum's house? Has Bonnie taken over both her old flat and her old man? But here are the people I feel bad for. The badly named children. And I think they're taking it harder than Brooke, because they're not quite used to losing men quite as often as she does.
I know where it's at.
Where?
Texas.
See? Poor kid. They talked about how JK would text them, but because he's mad at Brooke, they're missing out. More promises are broken, more playtime is neglected. And more of the time she could be there sort of rebuilding their hopes and dreams, and mending their broken hearts, will be spent worrying about a guy who they know isn't loyal or committed to them.
Was that his exes?
Oh, exes. I
Probably.
thought he said in Texas.
And why does he know all the dirty details? Because adults have been making their stupid adult business their children's problems. They should have been told all the gritty parts about what bad behaviours he's got. Surely that conversation should be having in private. The mother needs to feel like she has her kids on her own side. so she makes sure they have enough details to ruin their perception of him. I bet she's not explained how she's now unemployed and now some stranger is living in their old place to them. So why go into so much detail when you're trying to assassinate someone that they love?
It breaks my heart because he promised that he would never abandon the kids.
So the lesson here for the kids is, you see that sadness you're feeling? It's because this woman can't protect your heart because she's too busy thinking with her vagina. F- for parenting. But she's not the only one, of course. The man who was crying to his father in last episode because he felt he wasn't there for him is now ghosting two small children because his girlie got fired and hid it from him. So what? Why be so butthurt that you'd let your kids suffer? Let's just set the standard quickly for what isn't a good reason to neglect a child. Well, on this handy neglect table, or the JK's a total bastard table, we see the JK column lists his Mrs. Big Deceptive. That's a good reason. But if we look at everybody else in the world column, I'll get back to you on that one.
He made all these promises to the boys and he's not keeping them. Really shows me what kind of person he is.
So Brooke comes clean about the dirty business going on in the bathroom. That maybe she shouldn't use those cups anymore. I know. And if ever a parent gets to wield the line, how could you be so fucking stupid? This is the time, isn't it?
Between you and JK, if you are pregnant, this kid ain't got a chance in hell.
And hang on a second, if she said she was a merchandiser at her mum's thrift store, but she's been sacked, and Rosie here didn't even know, she bloody owns the place, either Rosie's a bit blind to what's happening in her own store, or Brooke has, or had, a job she's not telling us about. So, she's lying to us now. What a scoundrel. I mean, lying to this dickhead is one thing, but you deceiving my beautiful people, well, that's just plain wrong. And the weird thing is that bizarrely she was being truthful to the one person that was dying to rat her out.
All she's done is lie. Well, I think he brings out the worst in her.
Did we hear her blaming JK for her daughter's actions there? Yes, he's a cheat and a liar and, mostly useless. But these were things she knew before time and was still willing to lay down with him. JK is not good, sure, but Brooke is as much to blame as he is. They've kind of manufactured it through their eye for an eye mentality.
I just didn't want to tell you because I knew this bull was gonna happen.
Bullshit? You mean your mum losing her mind because it's the most retarded life decision ever made? That bullshit, that's the one we mean, is it? So rather than face the person you know is totally right, you try to hide it like a guilty little puppy who pooed on a carpet.
I've already been listening to you bitch about everything else under the sun, so...
I am really actually speechless. So she can now give her mum shit because she pointed out where the whole thing was a dumpster fire. What? And somehow, now that's her mum's shortcoming as a mother.
I'm supposed to be able to just come talk to you about stuff like you're my mom.
Yeah.
I know. The denial and blame is strong with this one. So, Mom, with her no good advice as always, tells Brooke to keep it to herself until she has total proof via a blood test at the doctor's office. Now, Brooke thinks that's a great idea.
No, I'm gonna go to him and I'm gonna tell him, like, hey, this is what we've got, buddy.
Yes, indeedy. Rather than actually knowing, she's decided that it possibly maybe is as much of an excuse as she needs to go see JK and gaslight him. And maybe just check he's not up to no good.
Idiot, I swear.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry, kids. You've come second to a man that the adults don't like. Which is probably hard to reconcile if you think you're less important than a person that's hated.
Where you going?
I gotta go talk to JK.
Anyway, this is quite possibly the most frustrating thing to watch. And those kids deserve a mother, not a fleeting burst of chaos. Right, let's go. I think my parking's about to run out soon anyway. One person whose bedtime is curiously quieter than usual is Brooke. And since James got a job, he's been off the tag and off the grid. And so she's starting to get suspicious. Again.
It makes sense that JK is using something of some sort.
Mixing Bonnie and Alexis's vaginas, probably. So it's the same old story for Brooke and her long-suffering mother. Driving about worrying about a man who clearly doesn't give a shit about you or his baby.
I mean, you're already raising 2 kids on your own.
Well, no, but who's to say the damage ain't already done?
I know.
It seems Brooke doesn't use any form of protection at all, even in the car. Seatbelt, please, young lady. Let's not be around your kids even less than you are already, simply because you took flight for a windscreen. Over now to Aquila, and we've got an appointment at the doctor to see if Brooke is with baby. So Brooke is blowing up James's phone in an attempt to get him to show some sort of interest. And where is he? Well, he's currently very busy at his ex Alex's house.
Thank you.
Well said. Now, I was wondering how it was at Brooke's house, seeing as she is or was living with a woman who told James her dirty little secret. And that phone call went something like this.
Bitch, what the is your problem? You promised me you were not gonna tell him that I lied about having a job.
And you thought she'd keep the promise? Are you really that naive that you think one of James's long-term friends and benefit provider would ever do you the favour of keeping it under wraps? You really have to be pretty stupid to think that. But luckily, she's got some stuff to say that isn't that stupid this time.
Okay, well, I feel like I'm not obligated to have you live in my house anymore, so figure that the out.
So she did, and got a new place. About the same time as James got his tag off for interesting timing.
You know, I'm just gonna say, if you would have kept your mouth shut, we wouldn't be in this situation.
You know, I just gotta say, if you'd have kept your fucking leg shut, this wouldn't be happening. You know, just saying. Now, Brooke could have left it there, but she's feeling smug about having kicked Bonnie out of her house and feeling like having the last word. Only Bonnie has got some big scary words that Brooke might have a problem chewing.
If you knew.
Yeah, if I knew what.
Now back to B. Nothing's ever as bad as it seems on this show.
Alex just miscarried his baby, so.
Oh shit. I guess we better clear up this spill on aisle 9. But if Brooke hadn't amazed us with all her stupid questions a minute ago, she's back to give it another try.
How is she gonna miscarry his baby if they ain't even talking?
How fucking... No, I must not mock the afflictive. Maybe she's legally a potato or something. Maybe Bonnie's got all her facts wonky. So Brooke suggests that maybe Alex was lying.
You believe Alex?
On this? Yeah.
Ah, well, that did seem pretty genuine to me. The thing about Bonnie's information is that it's usually pretty good. She may have the loyalty that is as watertight as one of James's excuses, but it has at least been true so far. Something Brooke might have picked up on, as she immediately tries to backpedal.
I'm not saying she wasn't pregnant or had a miscarriage.
Yeah, I didn't mean maybe she was lying, you know. I just meant that maybe she said wasn't true, you know. And that's, you know, like totally something different or something. And as Brooke goes off to scratch her head over her man.
Perfectly fine without you.
Yeah, because you were doing so well before she came along. Yeah, with her big mouth. Yeah, sure. Next up is Waco, Texas. And I hope you brought your fighting trousers because Brooke is talking smack. And is out for a slice of JK's ex, Bonnie. Alex. He really does have a type, doesn't he? They say that mummy's boys always choose someone that resembles their mum. Big John. Anyway, so prepare yourself for a conflict that puts a bit of Jerry in your Springer.
I'm gonna get her one good time at least. Y'all think I'm playing too?
As Brooke goes in for the full burn on Alex. The stage is the local bar. Delightful. Probably best not to order food. And the scene is in the beer garden.
It's not your business. You need to get that through your ugly ass head and get it figured out.
yeah, okay, Cindy Crawford. I know it's good to open with a joke, but, calm down, darling. Let's not be throwing those uglies around your glass house. Even Alex thought that was quite funny. It has to be said, though, that JK should be getting this talk too. She is but one half of the dirty great clam of desire.
It's not your business. We got going on in our home together because we are together.
Together. No, he's avoiding you. And she says, our home. Which one is that? JK's mum's house where he lives or the place where you live? You don't live together. Apparently, you've only seen him once in the last week. He's refusing to talk to you, so you could tell him you're pregnant without actually confirming that you are.
Wait, what is this?
Away from me.
How do you go from this?
Because I'm not about to entertain you.
Cheeseburgers? But this is the first time she's not just wearing a t-shirt. She even picked him up wearing one. But just because she's fallen over a hairbrush and has trousers on for once, she can't go chucking that shit at people.
How do you go from this?
Because I'm not about to entertain you.
What actually is the difference? The same shape, same size, same hair colour, same fashion sense. And they both have a bunch of kids from different dads. But spare of thought for these poor people in the background. Come to Texas, they said. It's friendly there, they said. There's more to Waco than constant conflict, they said.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person.
And because Alex isn't rising to the bait, Brooke gives her best line to go.
How do you go from this to that?
Brooke, I'm not doing this with you.
Yeah, that really wasn't landing the first time, so you should probably, sort of quit that while you're lagging behind. And as it heads out into the car park, Brooke drops the level to sub-basement 1 and tries something she thinks will hurt her.
Why you being a scary bitch now? You want to run all this some hot bitch? What up now?
Bit of projecting, I think, there from Brooke. Clearly, she thinks she's the hot bitch because she's out there saying how much better she was than Alex. I think Alex is doing it because she actually loves him, whereas Brooke is just doing it because she's determined to urinate a ring around a man who's already fled the scene.
But you ain't got no balls to turn around and be a woman now, do you?
That is kind of a prerequisite to being a woman. Lack of walnuts. And right now, she's being a woman by using her head and walking away before things get out of hand. The only man energy I'm seeing here is coming from cruising for a bruising Brooke, who is yapping away at the heels of a woman who I think is gonna shut that little mouth of hers.
You're gonna sit here and turn around and be a little bitch.
Sit here and turn around. I mean, she's not done this much before, has she? She's not got those snappy lines of a person who's good at conflict. So far, her attacks have included, "You're fat and ugly," even though I wouldn't be able to tell the difference from behind. And then Brooke escalates it.
You trying to talk to my dude is what there's to explain.
Now, the thing about a hand in the face is that my coach have always said that this means they're not actually going to hit you, because if they did, they would have done it. Because they've just had their hand in your face and didn't really do much about it. Bit like when they push you. This is just an indication that they want to hit you, but they just don't have the balls to actually do it. Now they need to build themselves up a bit, which is what we're watching here.
What?
Go, get out of my face.
Keep on.
Get out of my
Keep
face.
on, I swear to God.
Alex pushes her back twice, and all Brooke does is drop her hands and say,
Where I'm from, talk get hit.
see, she's not really got a strike in her. She's still building up to it. She's more scared of Alex, but is probably hoping that the security guys will jump in if she gets in actual trouble. She's a bit like discount Keira Knightley. Again. She really fancies herself as a bad guy and is cringing to watch her puff out her feathers.
Keep on.
And we'll see what happens with the ruckus in Texas very soon. We're back to Waco, and it's little battle mode Brooke that's getting ready to back up her big words with some even bigger words. And after the statement earlier,
Where I'm from, talk get hit.
we find her getting her ass handed to her moments later.
You're now?
Now, I probably shouldn't gloat and endorse this kind of behaviour, but it couldn't have happened to a nicer person, really, couldn't it? If Alex isn't busy, maybe she'd pop over and give Coraline a visit.
You ready to talk now?
I ain't talking to you.
And still, after being thrown on the gravel, busted Brooke has got all the mouth.
Because you I'm in and you know you're wrong. Right.
Alex, however, is trying to leave. Maybe because she'd rather not discuss her miscarriage as part of some vitriolic rant on a TV show. Maybe because she's a little bit more dignified than that. Lack of wealth does not always mean a lack of class. And as they pull hairs off themselves, we can see how similar these two actually really are. But Alex not only has beaten Brooke on the ground, but has also come across as a better woman.
I'm not about to sit here and argue with a child. Like, if you're grown, act grown.
And as Brooke does an impression of a yappy dog being held back by its owners, all hands on her hips like she's the victor in this situation of something. But what would she have won? She's learnt nothing, probably got her new white jeans all messy from faffing about on the floor, and she made herself look a total fool. And her prize is this winner. Good job. But then Brooke finds out that during the scuffle, Alex managed to write a bunch of insults on her glasses.
Nasty, fat, trash, ass bitch.
Sneaky. I've got to say, the person who has to pop the top button on her jeans, now she's breathing harder, probably shouldn't be throwing word fat at people that are totally the same size as you.
Trying to be all big, bad, and bold. Oh, let me show you who's top dog. Nah, bitch, because I will drag you across this concrete.
I wouldn't say that was fat anyway, it's more sort of curvy, isn't it? And as Brooke is sure that there'll be no more answers from Alex,
He ain't gonna say nothing.
Alex goes and gives her some answers.
Are you okay? Am I currently? No. Yeah. Well, were you okay? Absolutely.
Okay, cool. No real big surprise though, is it? So, how about another one?
Were you pregnant with JK's baby? I was, yes. Did he know? Yes.
She ass bitch.
So we found out that what we knew was all there was to know. Good job. Another game that is not quite over has been played by Brooke and JK. Then after she'd finished with Alex, Brooks decides that she'd like to share the news with Mr. Lover JK.
I'm just letting you know I just got done meeting with your bitch. Slapped her around a little bit. You're now?
And out of a drug-addled stupor, JK emerges.
I was told she had a miscarriage with your baby. Ahem.
Now, if it wasn't for those truly exceptionally massive pauses, I'm sure whatever JK might have said might have come somewhere near convincing. But once he's sobered up a bit, he gives convincing another go.
I don't know what the you're talking about. Literally.
Yeah, we've heard that phrase a few times on this show.
I got so many questions and I just want some answers.
Don't worry, I've got the answers. Leave. Quit flogging the JK dead horse and get out of that situation. Get a hobby, get a job, be a mother to your children. Get sterilized, even. Just whatever you do. Put it down to experience and move the fuck on. Even if you win this thing, what does winning actually look like? It looks a lot like it does now, frankly. Well, to do that, we need to get to Waco, Texas, to see what Bruce, Brooke, and JK are up to now. And it's big news. JK's had his teeth fixed.
Got my teeth fixed, so, yeah. We styling, profiling, we shining.
And since we saw them last week, where Brooke found out she wasn't pregnant, they're trying again, because, it was worth it, presumably. The fact they live an hour from each other, have zero trust, and a pocket full of exes to worry about? It'd totally be fine. So they get together. Brooke's wearing her favourite pair of curtains from the 90s. Delightful. And JK got...
I got some surprises for you.
How to make a surprise sound creepy, without telling me you've got a blacked out van with puppies and free candy. So, what about all the Alex the ex and stuff? Have we forgotten about that? Am I underestimating the power of our pinky promise? Well, Brooke has adopted the totally healthy strategy of denying it was ever a thing.
I don't think she really miscarried JK's baby. I think that the whole thing is just some made up bull.
And then she's all smug. Look at her gurning all over her prized man. As if he was some sort of magnificent specimen. Well, I've given more magnificent specimens to my doctor to analyse. Brooke's even been on Facebook earlier today saying this. I'm not hard to love, I'm just not putting up with what I used to. I don't wait around. Yeah, okay. I don't give endless chances. Yeah, okay. I don't bite my tongue. Yeah, alright, well, that bit's true. I know my worth, and I'll walk away before I let the past repeat itself. I don't see no walking, and those boots you have may just walk all over you. But maybe she's just too busy being a mother to her boys. Or maybe she's just too busy taking her kids to Hooters for lunch. I thought that was going to be a picture or something. Yeah. But nah, she wouldn't do that. Hang on a second. I mean, what preteen boys wouldn't want to do a bit of trampolining followed by a trip to Hooters? But, what mother would take you? I don't care what you do with your boobies and bits. I support your freedom of genital and breastical expression. But I do find it a little inappropriate to take children to an adult venue. There goes their sense of female dignity and value. Good job, dickhead. What do you even talk about while you're there over dinner? Good lord, mother dearest, what a delightful pair of blouse balloons. But Brooke is giving sexy a go, apparently, as she is here on TikTok. Yeah, we're not particularly fooled by filters anymore, missy. But what about this? That's a bit link in your bio, isn't it? Good job she's not giving us a seductive tour of her body. Hang on to your lunch. Yes, indeed, Brooke and her dynamic duos appear to be touting for a bit of business. And after a bad run of trust with Bonnie, she's got herself a new wing girl. I hope she makes sure she's not JK's type, or she'll be making more problems. Definitely JK's type. Speaking of which, we've had the boobies for the boys. Are you ready for a bit of JK? I think I'm pregnant too. Well, what the hell's going on in the ceiling? What's all this dark stuff everywhere? Looks like the fan blended a few thousand flies on its way round. But what about this? And this? Delightful. But anyway, the denial is deep, and now she thinks she's got to claws into him again. Her next move is to eradicate old connections with Alex, which includes JK's family, who still talks to her.
Your dad still constantly talks to her. She's constantly posting on his social media.
I would personally hope so too. They are the grandparents to JK's baby that he has with Alex. Of course they're going to ignore what petty argument is going on and focus on the family as a whole. But that's just not acceptable to Brooke, because she's here now, and she and her kids are simply more important than actual blood.
If JK's family doesn't stop talking to Alex, they can all go get as far as I care.
Cool, let's all go get fucked then, shall we? Never heard it sound so enticing. But I bet we can all demonstrate how to get fucked without creating babies in the process, which sounds like much more fun than listening to how important she thinks she is. And she's happy now, I guess, just as long as she trusts her man again.
Okay.
Wouldn't it just be so awful if he immediately went and contradicted himself by admitting the complete opposite?
I actually did go behind Brooke's back and go see Alex.
Good job. And in typical lying Lalu man fashion, he does the whole telling the truth without actually telling the whole truth.
I'm not hiding anything from Brooke right now.
We'll be back to them later, but before that it's time to stop in Aquila to see some more of Brooke and JK. But I think Brooke's willing to show us quite a lot. But do you think Brooke is actually pregnant now? Here's the interview shot, and here's one from later an interview with her mum. Now, do you see a suspiciously bumpy bump going on here? And her boobies do look a little bit bigger than before. I like to keep abreast of these things. It's like when Jasmine from 90 Day was pregnant. She wore a peachy coloured top and was framed carefully. Well, what do you think? Is it me, or did JK's little swimmers get to work after all? Or is there another person responsible for this little potential fiasco? Maybe I shouldn't be so assuming. By my rationale, JK must be pregnant too.
Okay.
So, Brooke banged on for ages about the same old issues, for which I have zero sympathy. She fought for this man, therefore she owns the consequences as far as I'm concerned. And I was going to fast forward the rest of this bit, but something fun happened. JK's pulling up at his dad's house, and I found myself thinking, I wonder where Professor JK gets his wow from. Well, what a great way to enter the scene by hitting yourself in the face with a tree. I'm sure it's just a one-off though. I bet he's really good with that sort of thing.
With Alex, if she's having a down night, she'll call me.
Is this man safe around machinery? I'm not sure who's in more danger, him or the tree. That would explain the rather sharp parting he has though, probably from where he was trimming the grass. I think the producers just make him hold the thing and then add the sound effects afterwards. But he's not just here to take a few branches to the eye, he's here to trigger the reverse cymbal noise. Hey Dad, tell us about your busy mate Alex.
No, she's pregnant.
You said what?
She's pregnant.
Whoops. Back over JK and Brooke, and we've just found out that Alex is pregnant. JK's got nothing to worry about, right? He said he's not hiding anything from Brooke at the moment, didn't he? Well then, he shouldn't have anything to worry about, right?
And she told you that?
I saw her. She's pregnant.
Really?
Oh, get a bit warm suddenly, did it, JK? That heart started beating a little bit faster than it was a minute ago, is it?
Yes, I've had sex with Alex.
More on this later on, but now we're going from one anticlimax to another. There's no one more anti for a climax than Brooke and JK. Well, this week, JK seems to have a handle fitted to the back of his head.
You know, like, I gotta find out from my dad that Alex is pregnant.
And since hearing the news from his dad that his ex Alex is pregnant, while the dad was busy being attacked by a tree, he's very confused about all this pregnancy business.
I've had sex with Alex, but like months ago.
Hey.
Which is pretty much how babies work though, isn't it? You put a deposit down and then give it a couple of months. But as we pull up to the third most wonky thing in the series, next to JK's timeline and Wally's all this fiasco, he wastes no time beating around her bush.
What you need? Why you here?
You know I'm here.
A quick fumble and a sense of guilt.
So you're not pregnant?
I am.
But with his major in biology and a minor on the way, Professor of Gynecology JK has processed the numbers and fiddled with his algorithms to provide top quality analysis of the situation in hand. Yeah, if he'd used his hands, we wouldn't be in this predicament.
You don't even look pregnant.
I am.
Good job, Dr. Wow. I don't think he's in any position to say who looks pregnant or not, frankly. And a man saying anything about a woman looking pregnant is wandering through a minefield of potential problems. The phrase, "Ooh, you don't look pregnant," could be met with, "Yeah, thanks. Are you saying I always look like this? This is why us men should avoid the conversation of tumminess at all costs." Although here's a tip for the boys. If you ever get caught in that situation, the best way out is always by saying, "I thought you were radiating a glow." Yeah, see? You're welcome. But in JK's defense, it is kind of hard to tell if she looks pregnant or not. And I don't mean that in a nasty way. The only shot we get which is in that area was when Dave the cameraman forgot to focus the camera. Oh, Dave, you had like one job. So you get a kind of silhouette of it. I mean, in my not very educated opinion, it looks a little bit low for a baby bump right now. And if she's only 8 weeks, as we're led to believe, baby's about the size of a raspberry. So she might not show all that much.
Unfortunately, I ended up with a beautiful blessing on the way.
And he's like, "Cool, so did you order lunch?" Oh yeah, the baby. Yes, of course. So no lunch then? So, to prove her point, Alex heads off to get the sonogram for attending physician JK to analyse.
What this is?
Well, it's not the fucking receipt, is it? At least it's not one of those 3D ones, where it just looks like some weird goop. And your mate pulls out one of these new 3D pictures of his kid, all proud. "Hey, check out our baby." And you're like, what the hell is that? Yeah, I mean, delightful, congratulations. But wait for the dates.
This is 11/22, the day that I found out.
Hang on a second. So if she got a 7-week scan on the 22nd of November last year, then that would put the conception date around the 4th of October, which means baby was more likely born around the 4th of July this year. So JK Jr. is already here. Now with Brooke looking like she's got a +1 in the uterus department too, do you think Jay has gone and managed to get both women up the Duff McKagan at the same time? Well, I think there's a fair chance of that. In fact, I'll hang my little hat on the fact that that might be the twist at the end of the series. And I think JK needs a little twist at the end of it too. Or maybe not. That'll stop all these problems. But we've got to wait a minute as Surgeon General JK catches up.
So how far along are you here?
7 weeks.
On this day here?
Yes.
I actually love that he's trying to work it out on his fingers. But 12 hours later, then Alex thinks she's better jump in before JK's brain cell overheats.
So that would put it in October.
And while Alex explains what an October is, prepare yourself for quite possibly one of the most stupid things ever said on Lalu. I mean, that bar is pretty damn low. We've had some idiots along the way, haven't we? But JK here is failing to grasp the connection between him sleeping with Alex and the fact she's now pregnant.
So what you mean? We was together in October. I mean, we was dealing with each other.
I mean, he nearly gets it. Look, there's a pause.
So what you mean? We was together in October. I mean, we was...
Oh, you nearly got it, which means... Keep going, you've got this.
We was dealing with each other.
He was so close. And she was like, yeah, that's how babies happen. Maybe she needs a diagram. Needs a diaphragm, more like.
Is it mine?
Back over to Fart, and we're back with Brooke and JK. Well, it's Alex and JK, to be more precise. And JK has a big question with an even bigger build-up.
Is it mine?
Maybe! Turns out, Shrek wasn't the only ogre peeling Fiona's onions. That's a bit of karma right there, isn't it? JK thought he was the smart one flitting about between the women, but little did he know that Alex was also being flexible with her swamp. But little do either of them know that Brooke is trying to get in contact with Mr. Lover Man. And the more he hangs up, the madder she gets. I do wonder if she got rid of that tracker on his phone or not.
James Keith, I don't know what the you got going on. Oh, I'm finna kill him.
Keith, that's what it is. I was trying to guess what JK stood for a few weeks ago and settled for James Kenneth. No points for me this round. So, James Keith wants a DNA test to see who the daddy. But he'll have to wait until the baby's born for that.
No, at the end of the day, I've always wanted a child, but at the same time, like, I know God works in mysterious ways.
There you go, blaming me again. We'll be back there later, but before that it's time for a little bit of Brooke, James Keith, and the ex-Alex. Now, let's see how sharp your observations are. In this clip, there's a parole violation. Can you spot it?
Baby, now you want to talk? Now you want to figure it out?
That's right, it's the massive cookies bag in the back seat. Ah yes, cookies. The dispensary has just opened new stores in Texas, and in James Keith's back seat too. Now, I don't really know if it's a parole violation or not, seeing as medical things are legal in Texas, but he does seem to be in possession of it. Maybe it's Big John's stash. Maybe she gets her 3 5s in kilograms. So, then Alex says,
Well, where the was that energy when we were screwing? When you was coming over here late nights?
Gross. Yeah, well, that'll be why you're pregnant, I guess. So after that fruitful meeting with Alex, James Keith notices that he's only got 11 missed calls from Brooke. And oh look, she's left him a delightfully personal voicemail. Oh, young love.
You ain't too busy. You probably got the in your hand playing with your little into the bone.
But what are James Keith's plans? Will he tell Brooke that he might have accidentally impregnated Alex? Or will he wait out the pregnancy, see what the DNA test says, then head to the Winchester and wait for it all to blow over? Well, he's going to the Winchester to wait for it all to blow over.
Nah, probably just tell it in.
Yeah, sure you will, yeah. I have a feeling he'd just try to hide that poor child as long as possible. But as one of my delightful viewers commented, James Keith's dad is very close to Alex. Did Alex look at him and think, I'll let him trim my bushes? But all this stress is starting to get to Casanova.
I'm at the end of my rope, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm to my last straw, like.
Well, I hope Brooke doesn't rock up unexpectedly to make sure he's not having a good time. Damn it! Oh look, she's left the lights on too. She might need to jump later. Not you, James Keith. More from them later, but before we move on to our next couple, please do subscribe and give me a little like. And why not hype the video? It's free and helps me get out to a wider audience. In fact, last week, the hypes you clicked gave me a score of 22,000 hype points. Good job, you. I've got no idea what that means, but it sounds like quite a big number. Probably. So, keep doing that. That's fantastic. Thank you. Marlin, Texas, to see what Brooke and James No Teeth Keith are up to. And I can't call him No Teeth now. We'll have to call him James New Teeth Keith instead. But, that's no fun. We'll have to find something else to call him. Well, I guess there'll be a few people calling him Daddy in a few months. So we're back with them as Brooke is giving James Keith a good sing to in the front garden.
I had to go talk to Alex today.
For what?
There's the buzzer. Thanks for playing Family Screwed, the Are You Smarter Than a Brick edition. But no, silly me, it's not a fun game show, it's the Popo.
No way.
Blimey, they got there quick. And, nobody noticed them pull up? The entire film crew didn't see either? Officer Stealthy Pants just rocked up undetected? According to the official Marlin records, there's a grand total of 9 officers. And according to their shift patterns, there's probably only 2 officers on at any one time. 1 on patrol, 1 on dispatch. But could they have got there in minutes? Here is Marlin, home to 6,000 people, a whole 4.5 square miles of it. So from the police station, you can get anywhere in town in just a few minutes. So I guess he might have been like an actual police person. Here's another fact about Marlin. You need to lay 124 blue whales end to end to fit the length of the town. Coincidentally, James Keith had been laying whales in Marlin for years. It's the same size as Disneyland California Resort. Now, Marlin might not have Main Street, but it does have a Mockingbird Lane. Yeah, the monsters got evicted after all that business with Herman's hard drive. And instead, we have a delightful bucket museum. But oh no, they had to have picked the night when super detective extraordinaire Officer Ramsbottom is on duty. He's a real pro.
Heard some yelling and stuff.
Good job. Are we sure he's a cop, though? He does look a lot like James Keith in disguise. And I did notice Ramsbottom and Keith aren't ever in the same shot at the same time. Lovely hat, though. Is that regulation? Can you just wear whatever you like on your head because it's Texas?
Heard some yelling and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've established that this probably is a legit officer, but even though I wouldn't be too surprised if they cast Alan the Sound Man to play him. But who called them? Was it Big John? Was it the stepdad? Or was it Sneaky Susan here, who won't have her strip poker night interrupted by some mouthy little strumpet, you know?
Yeah.
Well, the neighbors called.
Ah, yes, the neighbours, of course, them. So, how are they going to play this one?
We're good.
Well, that's okay then, no need to investigate any further. Yeah, good job. Plus, Ramsbottom needs to get back to his favourite show, because he's subscribed to Lawd Lukan, and he's taken that like button for some intensive questioning. And he hyped the video, so, just saying. Oh, yeah, it's in a different spot on the mobile, isn't it? There, here, there, I don't know, click stuff. Thank you. So, after Officer Ramsbottom heads off to Sonic Drive-In, what the hell is a Sonic Drive-In? And how disappointed am I that there's no little blue hedgehog thing? Even the cars are ashamed to be there. The only drive-in, drive-through, whatever, that makes it look like you might be parked somewhere cooler by facing the opposite way. Anyway, Brooke is busy tearing strips off James Keith for the usual reasons, seeing his ex and not answering his phone.
We're getting married. We're having babies. We're going to live together.
A bit sweaty there, are you, James Keith? Is that the naughty narcotics doing that? Or the haughty neurotic that's on blast mode that's doing that?
I'll be with you when you act like this all the goddamn time, bro.
You're the reason I act like this. Are you kidding me?
Oh dear, now he's fighting back. Sort of, kind of. That's not gonna go down well. I know somebody who does go down well, apparently, but, it's not Brooke. She's got more excuses coming her way.
And you're the reason I'm the whole time.
Now, by the power of mental vision, you can now choose the next thing that happens. All you have to do is think hard enough, and the mentalness technologia will broadcast whatever comes to your mind. Ready? Are you thinking hard enough?
And you're the reason I'm the whole time.
You do, for real. You.
Blimey if you are. I was thinking she should leave his ass, not reorganize his facial features. Now, I'm not glamorizing violence. It's very bad, boys and girls. But for educational purposes, let's examine an image of what happens to the human face when force is applied to one side of it. Oh, yeah, that's one for the album, isn't it? It looks like his face went west, but his eye socket thought he would hang around to see what happened next. Also, for educational purposes, let's look at what happens after a localized impact compression. Try not to cry. Try not to cry. And as Dana White signs Brooke up for the next season of, I don't know, whatever that show is where they slap each other and get talcum powder everywhere. I mean, that'll take ages to clean up, won't it? Looks a lot like Troy after saying goodbye to his father. So, good job, presumably. Back to Marlin, Texas to see Brooke and James No Keith Teeth. So, just to recap, of course, let's watch that bit again.
And you're the reason I'm all the time.
You do, for real. You.
Ah, it doesn't get old, does it? He's quite lucky she went up top. Many women I know would have gone all honey badger on his ass and gone for the bad boys. But she did say he had a little penis during her voice messages. So perhaps she just went for the big old head because she doesn't have pinpoint accuracy. And so, all this spelt the end for the couple, and Brooke leaves.
I'm ending the relationship.
Relationship? Yeah, okay, yeah. I think you were the only one in that relationship. But it's hard to end something that never really existed outside of your mind. She thought she'd find love and a new daddy for her kids, and all she found was the man who barked like a dog, acted like a dog, humped other people's leg like a dog, but had none of the charisma, likability, or heart of a dog. Daddy ended up dogging on her. Well, she's got a new man here now. And when I asked the beautiful people who they thought she was with, Discount Little Wayne or Sloth from the Goonies, well, most people went for Sloth. But it is, of course, Discount Little Wayne that gets the, I don't know, prize, maybe? So, there she is, pregnant and with a new guy. Don't worry about spending the time with your kids you pushed aside for some retard. I'm sure they're fine about it. You just keep rolling them dice, trying to ensnare men with a uterus, hoping the next guy to give you a baby might stick around. For a woman who professes to be all about the family, she's not got a mother clue. Being a mother extends far beyond posting other people's tired and overused quotes. How great she is at being a mother, fighting against circumstance and turmoil. Ah, bollocks, that entitled, immature brat doesn't have the first clue about how her decisions will shape the lives of her sons.
There's nothing left to be said.
Good, fuck off. But I'm going to give the last word on this matter to good old Big John.
You need to just break it off. Break it off.
Blimey, that's a bit strong. I was going to suggest tying a knot in it, but, Mama's always right, apparently. So, come in then, Keithy. Brooke started dating more inmates. Alex gave birth to a baby girl. And James knew Steve Keefe. He went fishing.
Cause it's plenty of fish in the sea. It's plenty of fish in the sea. Hold up now. The baby catfish.
So, if you like what I do, then please do like, subscribe, and check out one of these little beauties. So, until we meet again, stay beautiful, love to my 3, and you take care of yourself.
Please subscribe now for our play. Thank you.